going to start repairing this 6 transistor Realtone. Doesn't work, I'll show you in a minute, but I did these for it. I'm not going to go into detail. Actually show you this one here. It's a realistic solid state. Well, I don't want to say solid state, but it just says that. We know they're solid state. You might have seen this on the workbench when I was doing the Zenith pocket radio repair. And the dial plate is missing. I don't know whether they took it off to get to this the variable tuner screw that's in there, or it fell off. But anyway, I had one on there and I had it written on there, which I didn't like. So I put these little numbers on there, wire markers, and it goes from 540 to 16. It's a standard radio. I did do some repair on it, or did I? No, I did not do any repair on this one. It worked fine. I think I just cleaned the volume control. The strap is missing on this. It plays nice for a 5 transistor, I believe it was. I know it's 5 transistors. Yeah, it's a 5 transistor radio, but it actually comes in really good for a 5 transistor. I did repair it. This antenna was loose. You can see that I put hot glue on there because it was just loose. Hope you can see that right there. I put hot glue on this antenna because it was shaking around loose. That's the only repair I did on this one, and it works great. I'll close this up later. Then the second one I did was this Cobra. This is Cobra 2. And it's a cheapo. Notice there's no earphone jack on it. So cheap they couldn't even give it a model number. That's how cheap it is. It's a 5 transistor, and again, this antenna was loose on this one, so it was pulling out of this holder. So I hot glued that in place, and something else. What did I do? I changed the transistor here, I believe. Transistor, I mean capacitor. Right here, this one. I think this was the one that had this one in there. Not sure of what I did, but I changed this capacitor and this one. I changed these two because they were in the bad area on my capacitor wizard. Capacitor read these two as bad, so I replaced them, and the other two were good. This one comes in good now, but even though it's a cheap 5 transistor, like I say, it can't even afford to give it a model number. Made in Taiwan. I'll get that one back on in a sec, but at least this one's got the strap. But that's a cheapie, but it comes in good. What was this one made in? Korea. This one's made in Korea, Taiwan. Then I did this RCA. Now this is an 8 transistor. It was really filthy because it was adhesive. Actually, it was remnants of I don't know if you're familiar, great stuff, insulating stuff. And this one comes off at the top. It's I don't know. They say, all right, we'll say this is R model RGH 121. That's for gray. There's black and gray or blue and gray, so they use the same cover. Now, I don't know about you. My color blind, this looks more like a white or an off-white. Doesn't look gray. Does this look gray? No, I don't think so. Well, anyway, what happened here? All right, I changed. There was a lot wrong with this one. What they did is they... Let me see if this is the one. Yep. I'll get my pointer out. Try to make these painless as possible. I changed this one. Yeah, I think this one was that axle that was in there. They had an axle in there. Yep, I could tell by the... And I put a radio. Then I changed. Did I change that one? Nope, I think that was the only one I changed. Nope, this one was... This one's 100 microfarad at 10 volt. That was good. That read good. I think this one read good. I think that's the original too. I don't know. I think maybe I just changed this one because it showed up bad. I don't remember if I changed anymore. But what happened was I try to take the screws out of here and there, back in here. This one and this one. I didn't have no other screws, and it just kept turning. They wouldn't come out. So what they did is they put this great stuff all through here and all the way down in here and here, and it held the board down to the case. That was all it was. So I had to get in there with my utility knife and cut all of that stuff out of there, and then it just popped right out. And the standoffs were actually still mounted on the board, but they had broken loose from the board. So somebody must have pried it out of there. I don't know. It doesn't look like it was dropped or anything. But they were in here and they did something. And there was this great stuff all over the IFs, and you can still see some. I got the majority of it out of there. And put a piece of cardboard in here because this antenna was pushing up against this tuner terminal and digging into it, so I put a piece of cardboard in there. Change that cap. This is all, looks like all germanium transistors on this one. But the thing about it was, after I got that corrected, I also put a piece of cardboard in here to keep the battery from hitting these. But the thing of it is, so I got it out, and I glued the standoffs back in place on this case. And if you can see, I don't know if you can see that, but this one right here, there was a standoff right here. You can see where it was. And reason being was because this board is broken. It's got about, I don't know, 3/8 to half, probably a half an inch broken off at this point. The earphone still works, but part of this board is extended out further, and there was a standoff here and a screw hole. And I couldn't. The only thing I could do was put a standoff on the bottom and cut it down to 10 millimeters and then glued it to the back of this board in between the solder joints on the traces for this jack, and it rests on there. So, and it's really secure now. I mean, beats having all that. I don't know why that's all that great stuff in there that they put in there. I had a lot of sides. I had to scrape it off. Use the magic eraser to clean this up. And oh, also I had a problem with the intermitting problem. And looked at the back of the board, and one of the speaker wires soldered to the board was just, you could see the wire moving around. So I soldered it up. And some other bad areas on the traces, but yeah, that fixed the intermittent problem. I fixed the standoffs, put them in there, and added that back in there, changed that capacitor, and pretty much that was it. But I couldn't believe that they put the great stuff in there and did that. But and this one's kind of weird. I think you got to put the top. Yeah, you got to put the bottom in first, because the top's the one that comes out. It comes out from the top only, just like that. But it's a nice looking radio. It works fine now. So I fixed that. This one, well, I did. This is GE AM 8 transistor also. And I'll show you what I did with this one. I mean, actually I didn't do nothing with this one. I just kind of tried to reform it like you would a capacitor, and I'll explain the reason why. When I don't reform. I got these capacitors here. They must have came out of one of them. I don't remember. This one here, you can see it's strapped on. There's no screws holding it. The only screws is these two, and actually those are your tuning capacitor screws for oscillator and antenna, headphone jack air. But if you take a look, you can see that there's a stylus in here in between the middle of the speaker. This is called a reed speaker. This is 1920s technology. I don't know why they would use that, but it's got a little stylus in there. It goes in the center, so it doesn't have a permanent magnet. It doesn't have a voice coil, and it's a weird concept. And it rattles if you have it real loud volume. This little magnetic, I call it an Armature field, but you see this top little plate between these has the stylus on it, and that vibrates back and forth. There is a coil over here and a coil over here. So it doesn't have a output transformer. This is a driver, and naturally your push and pull transistors. But again, I couldn't take it apart. Well, not I could release it from there, but they got clips on the bottom of somewhere in here, and one way back in here they got clips, and you can't get there to get them. You'd have to like almost break this case to get it open. And this reed speaker is part of this board. You can notice it's not mounted. It is mounted by a clip right here holding it, but that's just holding the frame. It ain't holding the diaphragm or that stylus of that. So I will show you this one. It's kind of unique, but I don't understand why they'd use 1920s technology. We call it that. I think it was 1966. Now this one, I'm not sure. It's a cheapie. This realistic, I don't know. But this one and this one, I think, is 19th in the 60s. This one, I think, is 66 or. Anyway, turn it on. Let's see, I got this on. I don't know what number. We'll find it. Now you can hear that rattling. That is that little plate in here that's going in and out on that the stylus, moving the stylus in and out of the speaker.
Putting up these posters from that website, students are ripping them down. In the name of what? Do we have fifth column exposed jihadis, Americans on U.S. campuses? It seems as if we do. What can we do about that phenomena is speak the truth. One person
It does great, okay.
With does that every night on
At
his
that volume,
show, Rob Schmidt tonight.
I had
I decided to turn the tables and invite him onto my show. Rob, welcome to the Cobra Reality Check.
it sounds okay for.
Actually, good to see you. Good to be on your show. I had you on the show. Well, thank you for having me on your show every week. It's a delight. It's a pleasure, especially in the A block. It's the least I can do to get you back.
Okay at that volume. It's comfortable volume for a transistor radio to listen to. I mean, I've heard this across the hall or even in my bedroom. I could hear it playing, and I let it go for 24 hours see if I get that stylus read type speaker to like reform like you would a capacitor. And by the way, I don't reform capacitors. I do perhaps you'll stop it, not never. I don't believe in that. But
We know the general agenda that the press has these days, that the establishment media has these days. They're
that's
consistently
a
always
good
trying to find what they perceive to be
clip
the
there.
victim in society and then be the champion.
It's not clipping. It's just that
group.
rattling of that
I didn't, and they do
plate
that,
pushing
in
that
terrible
stylus in
ways
and out
sometimes, but I didn't realize that they would
of the
sink
reed
this low.
speaker.
I didn't think that they could look at something like this.
But this is a
I didn't think
comfortable
that they could
volume.
gloss over what happened 3 weeks ago now. And find that equivalency.
There's nothing you could do about this. I mean, it's probably from just old age. But there's nothing you can do to repair that, and you can't even get this out of there unless you destroy this case. Because you got clips in here that just, you can't even get it at. So, even if I did, what are you going to do about the speaker? Nothing. I wonder if it's magnetized. I wonder if I could demagnetize it, but I could try using my demagnetizer and see if I could demagnetize this area. And I think there's another magnet back here, a permanent magnet back in this area somewhere. I think that's how this is working. And then you got this little coil. Like I said, one on this side and one on this side. That's the push and pull effect that vibrates that plate, which pushes the stylus in and out of that speaker, causing it to work. Supposedly these could handle higher volumes and frequencies. But why would they put it in a 1966 radio? This old technology, I just don't get it. Permanent speaker would have been great in this radio. But no, they didn't. I'm going to believe this and off because I'm going to try to get my demagnetizer and demagnetize that and then try it. But yeah, that was the 4 radios that I worked on. So stay tuned. I'm going to put this on pause and do what I just said. This one's got a little dent in it right here. This is the one I'll be working on. 6 transistor. It's got a little crack in it and a chip. This crack I can fix, but that's not the problem. I opened it up and tried it, and I'll show you. At least I don't care for boards mounted upside down. I like to see the components. Well, we will see them. But what this one is, it didn't work, and I can see why. This antenna is broken off. Two of the wires coming out. I don't know if it's the same winding or not, but maybe I got to solder them back into place if I figure out where they go. I think one goes here, maybe one here, I'm not sure. Screws hasn't been taken out, they still got the paint on them. So nobody's been in there. But this antenna wire is definitely broken off. Two of the wires. So I gotta repair that. So I'll get that repaired before I even take it out of the radio, so if I can get that running. Because naturally I got no RF, you ain't got an antenna. So we'll get to that one directly. Stay tuned, and I'll be coming back with this after I demagnetize this, or attempt to. I can't find my demagnetizer. It's a little wand-like thing that you use for recording heads. It'll show up when I'm not looking for it. I find it. But I was just hoping to correct that GE Reed speaker. So it's not it has static, I thought. $8.52 should do something. Let me think. So I need a standard screwdriver. This is too big, but I get that paint out of them. Okay, I got this board out of this case here. Let me think. What is the let me see. These are off. I'm going to be pushing pull type right here. See if I get anything over here. They way down here. That's what I'm reading. So I determine what I'm getting. My voltage to the primary of that one. That would be the, that looks like the output, and this would be the driver. Why would I be getting it at the driver? sure which one's primary or secondary. I'm in that area, right? This is the mount. So they could go up a little higher. Right here. Here. And here. I'm not getting it. I'm going to have to check some transistors first. Because I got nothing. Except for the primary going into the, I'm thinking that's the audio output. But nothing on the driver. So, let me get set up here and I'll check some transistors somehow. Okay, this is beyond repair. I took out the 2 output transistors. They're PNPs and they check out good. But, a couple things. The driver secondary is bad. This would be the driver and this is the output. And transistor, these traces, I'll tell you right now, I had to send here's a piece of a trace and here's a piece of trace. This is really crap radio. One of them was right here. And the tracer went right over here to that output, audio output. And then the other one went right here, here and here, and that broke off to here. Oops. Here and here it broke off. I think all 3 of these. One, 2, and 3. Well, regardless. Now the output, the driver. This is the mount, of course. This one you got a center tap coming right here. So, where's my bearings at here? This is the center tap. I'll read it from here to here. This is going to be a good reading. 205, I would take that one. But if you go over here to here, where that transistor was that it? This one to this one. Come on, let me have my reading. That ain't it. Looks like I got it open. From there to here. 250, wouldn't it? 205. And this center tap right here. So you got 205 there, then you gotta have this one perhaps. 345. That, I don't know. There's one. Where's it at?
center tap there, and the one that broke off there. As far as the trace. Not making good contact, that's all. Opened. It's opened. This ain't it because that's 4K, 5K and climbing. And this one goes right over there to that one, which is the same thing. Let's try this, but I don't think so. Nada. It's opened. That's the driver. This one's reading at 2K, 250, 205. It goes there. Oh, there's 140 ohms. But it should be right here. Straight in line. And it's opened. This one's beyond repair. Can't do nothing with it. So I don't care about the wires on the tuner. But again, you can see a couple of pieces of traces here. And I got my setting on 1 all the way down. It's just really piss poor traces on this board. So it's going to be used for parts. Reading good. So there's should be another NPN disc because I got 3 PNPs. Only makes sense. So it'll be 3 NPNs. We shall see. NPN. Okay, so those are good. This is the detector diode. It read good. Gotta be careful how you overheat them babies. Oh, I got the thermistor. That read good. Turn this off. Now I want to show you the transformer. I wrote on there before I took them out. This is V. There's a DRV. This is a driver. And I got, I don't know if you can see that, but I got OUT, meaning output. Now this is the driver. Put this meter over here so you can see it. Well, you should be able to see it right there. Here's some of this stuff. I need this. I need you. Don't go away. Alright, I got this on there to help me so I can hold one lead. Here's the primary. It's going to be good. Help if I put this on ohms. 879 ohms. Okay. Now we're going to go here, the secondary. We're going to go to center tap. And I cleaned the outside of these terminals. Zilch. Nothing. And in this one, well, I wanted to read there, but it ain't. Nothing. This transformer was opened, and that's why I had no output when the driver ain't going to work. Okay, now I'll show you the other audio output one. Actually, the primary. What am I getting? A sporadic read I'm getting. That should be low ohms. There you go. 1.7. Now we go to the center tap, to this one, 57 ohms. The other side should be 57. Should be, see, well, close to 120 ohms. Get on it. There it is. 120, 118. So this one here, this one's good. This output one, I mean this driver one is shot, so it's garbage. That's what's wrong with the radio. That's it. Thanks for watching. Hope you got something out of it, because, well, I did. Some parts.